come on. Go ahead and put that crown on your head. Now tilt a little to the left. Now a little to the right. Perfect. Now let's get to work. Because we know you got big goals. And you got big dreams and not afraid to let them know. Why? Because you step into your purpose. You speak out on your faith. And you shift up in your journey. Because you a boss. Welcome to the podcast, Drop the Expiring Act with your host, Belly of QueenBayGoals.com. Reminding you that you are a queen before anything else. It's your life and your goals. Make it royal. All right, y'all. Go ahead and work that crown. Hey, Queen Bays. This is episode number 20, which means we are finally wrapping up this season and on to a new season come October. So don't forget, we'll be back on October 7th. I have been interviewing some great guests. I've already done 5 interviews so far, and let me tell you, they're all great. So I can't even tell you which one to listen to because I need you to listen to all of them because they're just so awesome. Anyways, so this is our last episode, and in this episode we're talking about, how all of the goal guides work together. But I just wanted to say something before we even talk about the goal guides. I think that, doing these episodes and talking about, how they came to be from, being the Queen Bay goals, and now I'm calling them the goal guides. For me, this podcast and the journey has been, as one of the speakers I was talking to said, she was like, you know what, it's your oral journal. Like the podcast for me has been an oral journal, and me saying some things out loud has brought a lot of clarity in different areas and where I want Queen Bay goals to go. For example, now I'm calling them the goal guides because originally I was saying, the 6 areas is Queen Bay goals, when it's really not, because for me, I want Queen Bay goals to be, the goals that you set in order to transform the relationship that you have between you and the queen that you were meant to be. And that's the purpose of Queen Bay goals in itself. And the 6 areas that I want you to focus on, which we now call the goal guides instead of calling them the Queen Bay goals, is the 6 areas that I think that you should start when you're creating goals. Those are the 6 areas that your goals should focus on. So speaking it out loud and talking through these episodes have given me a lot of clarity, and it's allowed me to be able to express like the way that I want you guys to understand like some of the things that I'm talking about. So how do the 6 goal guides that I'm talking about fit together? So when we start with number 1, the first goal guide, which is God first, and it'll soon be called Put Faith First or Put God First. That's where it all starts, right? It all starts with where you put your faith. It all starts with the things that you believe in and the things that you believe about yourself, not just about, the person that you believe in or the entity that you believe in. It's about what you believe about yourself. And if you believe that there's something greater than you, if you believe that somebody has put you here for a greater purpose than to just occupy space, than to just take up some of the air that's out there, then you are well on your way to starting to actually pay attention to the things that are going on in your life, starting to pay attention to the way that you feel, starting to pay attention to whether or not you are protecting yourself, protecting your emotional space, protecting your mental space, protecting your physical space. And that takes us right into, goal guide number 2, which is whole self-care. Because when you come to a point where you believe that there's something greater than you and you believe that you have a purpose, the next thing you're going to want to do is start taking care of yourself and your well-being, taking care of the vessel that's going to get you through this life, which is, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, making sure that you're in a space where you are happy, in a place that you want to be. And then once you start taking care of that area, the next fit is to start thinking about, okay, this is where I'm at in my life right now at this moment. Well, where do I want to be, right? What is this purpose that I have on my life? And the next step is to think, okay, well, these are the mindsets that I have. This is the way that I currently think. These are the things that I need to learn to get to my next level, which is the mindsets that you need to shift towards, which is, the thinking that you need to start grasping, right? Whether you have like an entrepreneur mindset, whether you have a success mindset, whether you have a fixed or a growth mindset, those are the things that you need to start thinking about, right? These are the mindsets that I have. This is where I'm at now, and this is where I want to be, right? So you can start thinking about the mindsets that you need to start shifting towards if you're not there yet. And once you're at a point of saying, okay, I'm going to shift my mindset, the next thing that you should do is start creating goals. And creating goals is about, living on purpose, living intentionally, setting a purpose in your life to start to actually do the things that are going to get you from the mindsets that you have to the mindsets that you want to be, which is number 4, living on purpose. So do you see how they all already fit together and they just flow? Living on purpose. And once you decide that you're going to live on purpose and you're going to create these goals to get you to your next level, well, what's the next thing? Looking at the habits that you have, because some of the habits that you have are the things that are keeping you stuck in place. So once you decide, okay, these are the goals that I'm going to work on and I'm going to start to live on purpose and intentionally, the next thing you have to work on is aligning your habits with the things that you say that you want. Because a lot of times, even though we say that we want to change and, we create these goals and say we're going to do it, sometimes our habits, the habits that we have learned, the habits that we have been, repeating for the last 20 some odd years, those are the things that are keeping us in the same place, right? And the saying, what gets you here won't get you there. So at that point, you have to start changing your habits, start aligning your habits. See how I got into that straight into the next goal guide? You have to start aligning your habits to match the mindsets that you said that you want, to match the intentional life that you should be living. You have to start paying attention to the habits that are keeping you in the same spot and start to try to, 1, create new habits, the new habits that are going to get you to your next level. And 2, start minimizing the habits that are keeping you stuck. And then once you do that, and then once you see the changes that are happening in your life, which are all going to be amazing because now you're living on purpose, now you're shifting to the mindsets that you want to have, now you are working on the goals that you say that you want, and you are living intentionally, and you are aligning your habits to this intentional life. The next thing that you need to do is to put yourself in the room, or put yourself in a space, or put yourself, somewhere where you are learning from people who have the things that you're going after, right? Who have the mindsets that you want, who have reached the goals that you're trying to accomplish. Because you can't get yourself to that next level if you can't see a way to get there. See a way to get there is to see somebody who's done it before, right? To see somebody who's been on that path, to see somebody who can help you to get to your next level. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to actually physically meet this person. It could be somebody who you see online and you can just follow them online, go to their trainings, go to their seminars, download their books or buy their books, like whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. You have to start building relationships with these type of people who have the things that you're looking for, have the things that you want. So that takes us straight into the last one, which is building strong relationships. Because that's how all of the goals tie together. The goal guides tie together. And once you start, creating these goals, that's where your goals should focus on, right? 1, putting God first, or putting faith first. 2, practicing whole self-care. 3, mastering your mindset and understanding, okay, these are the mindsets that I have. These are the mindsets that I need to shift to. 4, starting to live on purpose. 5, aligning your habits to the purposeful life that you said you're going to start living intentionally. And then 6, building strong relationships, or creating these strong relationships and community. And I did say that I was going to mention the unofficial goal guide. So the unofficial goal guide, which you'll hear me talk about, or I'll write blog posts about, or we'll have people come and speak about, is, money basics. I really feel like a lot of people need to know at least the basics about money. Because if you don't know the basics about money, you're not going to get to a lot of places, because, you need your credit score to get certain things. Like if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to budget your own money before you start to try to budget money for a business, right? Because if you can't even budget your money, how are you going to budget the money for a business, right? So that's why I say, that's an unofficial goal guide, because you'll see me talk and mention stuff about it. But I just don't feel like it should be one of the official goal guides. But everybody should know at least the basics about money. Because I still feel like, there's a lot of things I should learn about money, like investing, how to have multiple streams of income. Like I still feel like there's like a whole area that I don't know about money that I want to learn. So before it's like an official goal guide or anything, I want to learn more about that space. So you'll see me share things like, the top money experts. I shared that the other day, the top money experts that you should be following in 2020, right? Because if you've ever heard about FIRE, or financial financially independent, retiring early. That's like a whole phenomenon, right? And there are not a lot of people who know or have heard about FIRE. And it's something that I think you should look into if it's something that you want to do, like retire early and, live your best life, or live the life that you dreamed of instead of working or slaving away in a job, right? So that's the unofficial goal guide I just wanted to mention, because you're going to see stuff come up on the blog or come up on my channel or come up on the podcast about, basics about money. And it's just because I still feel like it's an area where everybody should still have some type of goals around learning at least the basics. So, like I said, this is the last episode of the season. I've already interviewed some great guests for next season. The next season will start October 7th. So during this break time, as school is starting for some parents, and some people are getting ready to put their kids into school, I'm taking a break as well. Not exactly a break, because like I said, I'm interviewing for next season, and then I'll be editing the podcast episodes, and then I'll be, getting them auto scheduled once October hits, and then you'll have a podcast basically every week, and they'll be on time because they'll be coming out. That's why I'm planning it now and doing it now in August and September, so that once October gets here, from October to December, you'll just have back-to-back episodes. So while I'm focusing on, my kids are in school, while I'm focusing on their schoolwork, I don't have to think about, did I record that episode? Did I edit the episode? Do I have it ready to go out? Because they'll be all finished and done by the time the season starts. So make sure you come back and listen to the new season. Like I said, we have great guests. If you are missing or you need some entertainment during the next couple of weeks while we're off season, you can always visit my YouTube channel, because I have plenty of content over there. You can go back and listen to old episodes that you missed. You can subscribe and download all 20 episodes, because you have 20 episodes that you can listen to. And next season we'll be coming back again with 13 episodes for the season. As always, I love talking to you guys. I love this oral journal that I'm sharing with you, so that you can learn how to drop your aspiring accent, to go after the things that you want, go after the things that you believe in this life that are meant for you. I want you to have the best relationship, and the best relationship that you can have is the one that you have with yourself and the queen that you were meant to be. So I think next season, well, maybe not next season. Okay, well, it depends. So I think at some point I will tell you guys like the backstory of, how it came to be called Queen Bay Goals, because what the Bay Goals hashtag is like relationship goals. And I'm like, yeah, wait a minute, which relationship are we talking about? Because there's one relationship that's more important than all the others. So I think I'll tell you guys a backstory in a future episode about how Queen Bay Goals came to be. But until then, I hope you guys are staying safe, making sure that you're wearing your mask, making sure that you're washing your hands, making sure that your kids are safe and your kids are getting ready for the virtual learning or the in-class learning that they're getting ready for. Just be safe out there in 2020. Yeah, we'll be back in October, so I'll talk to you guys in October. You have been listening to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. If you're looking for more information on this podcast and other episodes, please visit queenbaygoals.com.